Were you, or were you not, on a gay cruise?
No, you're 120% dick thing.
Everybody at that age, they're sperminator.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We're walking hard on looking for a hole.
That's. I have to say you're right on that one. Oh, my God.
A stiff breeze comes through the room, and you return the favor.
Got her in. Oh. Somewhere on the outside of this building, there is a hole where squirrels come in.
Better than a hole where dicks come in.
Yeah, better than that.
Going down the stairs to wash the laundry. What the hell? Shh. Pizza. Stop it now. I order you to stop. I'm still touching myself.
Yeah!
All young bitches want to do is pop pills, smoke weed, get drunk, lay around, suck dick, eat hot Cheetos, charge they phone, get a sew and weave, twerk, be bisexual, eat McDonald's, wash they pussy in the sink, lie, take selfies, and talk shit through Wi-Fi because they phone never on.
I think washing they pussy in the sink is my favorite part. The Vietnamese trade in dongs. Figuratively and literally, I'm sure.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious.
I did decide to look it up. 500,000 dongs is a good night for Pop's ex.
Like most women, he's an emotional thinker.
Good God.
I mean, that's part of the problem we're having now in our society is we have a bunch of emotional thinkers that want the world to, to fall in line with their emotions. That's not... look, reality doesn't give a shit about emotions.
It's my lived truth. Fuck your lived truth.
No, it's not. It's your perspective.
Kiss my ass.
Literally like, hey, Sergeant Pop, you got to turn your bear suit. I'm like, over my dead body. No. Just give me a statement of charges. Yeah. You're never getting this back. Yeah. You can suck it.
I'm going to wear this with my Russian coat.
you will bury me in this. Hey! Why you gotta fucking be like that, man?
Because I'm an asshole, and I learned from the best. I'm sitting across from him, and I'm pointing at you with all four fingers.
All right, first of all, the Russian jacket is World War II surplus.
I'll send you a picture of it, Sarge.
Yeah, okay. I
got you standing wearing it with holding two giant buckets like you just collected all the chum from behind the dump dumpster at the bar, and you're going to go home and make ice cream out of it.
What's up, savages? Terrence Pop here with another episode that actually is live from the lair. And today we're going to be going over a term called credentialism. And let's be honest, this is a basis for the power of the libtards. They control who gets the degrees, and thus they control who works and who doesn't work with said degrees. And 2/3 of said degrees, and I've covered this in past shows, is useless bullshit that is one big psyop. And in my opinion, they really started ramping this up into full gear shortly after Vietnam, but they planted the seeds for this right around World War I. This is a plan that has been taking place for over a century, and we are seeing the fruit of the left's bullshit in today's current year. So today we don't have Blake with us. We have Battle Dwarf and Jimmy.
What's going on, everybody?
This is going to get good. Now, when we talk about credentialism, how many times have we been watching debates in current year or the past, half decade where they literally say, well, you don't have a degree in X, you don't know what you're talking about. That is arguing from or to authority. Okay, I'm not up to speed on all the debating terms, other than I used to be a master debater when I was married, and I'm now divorced because I was doing it wrong. All right, Steve, what do you got?
You weren't doing it wrong. She was doing all the things.
You're going to get me sued, man.
Sorry, man. My bad.
I'll do that.
So credentialism is essentially deciding that nobody gets to do anything unless they have the credentials that you think that they need to have. In the case of the modern world, you're talking about degrees or Cisco certifications or Sigma black belts, or I'm sure you've heard a lot of these terms before.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is, one, is a form of gatekeeping. Two, it's a form of Pavlovian training where you are taught to reach the goal of this credential. You're not actually learning anything. You don't ever actually learn anything. You just work toward that credential until you get that credential.
So you're saying it's hoop jumping.
It's hoop jumping. It is hoop jumpery.
That's the grunt term for that. Is
Yeah.
Listen, how many times in our military career did they put hoops that we had to jump through just to get shit done?
All of them.
It's insane. It's insane. And here's another thing that annoys me about this whole credentialism bullshit. Back in the day when I used to do VA loans for half the country when I was with Chase Manhattan, I talked to about 30 vets a day. And on many occasions, and this one, rings a bell, individual, 13 years active duty. All right. 11 of those years, he was a CID agent. So he did all kinds of investigations and what have you for the military. And everyone on post is a trained killer, and they all have access to weapons. He decides he needs to get out because he's chasing his divorced wife and his child. That's very common for active duty guys to get out to chase their children.
Happened to me.
He could not get a job in law enforcement in any way, shape, or form because he didn't have certain credentials. Even though he did the job for real for over a decade, he didn't have the credentials, thus the experience to do it on the civilian side. He worked in a metal shop as a machinist. What the fuck is going on?
Well, here's the funny part.
Uh-huh.
A lot of kids these days are starting to realize that the trades are the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
I know a girl, for example, she's the sister of a girl who works at the party store where I'll pick up a six from time to time. At 18, she got her welding certificate. She's 20 and she's buying a house because she stayed at home with mom and dad while working for 2 years and racked up all of her money from her $65,000 a year welding job at the age of 19 and is just going to put cash down.
Well, Cara is 3 classes away from getting her welding certificate as well.
That's awesome.
So
working in a machine shop isn't that big of a deal. But I hear you on the guy being CID. I mean, I held a TSSCI security clearance. I've got all kinds of crazy skills. I'm a top-notch analyst, and my military record shows that. I'm all the way to the top of the ladder in just under 10 years. That's
because
hard to do.
7 or 8 languages.
Because I'm very good at languages.
Yes.
I grew up with multiple languages in my family, so it's easy for me to learn languages.
But you can't math.
I cannot math.
Yeah.
Do not ask me to math. I cannot math. But that's why a lot of people in Europe speak different languages. They grow up with French, Belgian, Italian,
German. Yeah.
It's there all the time, so it's easy for you to learn. I had the same thing. I had French, I had Irish, I had English all in my family all the time. But anyway, I get out of the military and I can't get a job anywhere, even though I've got one of the highest rated background checks you can have with a top secret security clearance. My credentials aren't good enough. They're not the credentials that the Bolsheviks want you to have, the ones that control big corporate industry, the education system. And as I learned later on when I worked at a Hollywood law firm, Hollywood,
Yeah.
if you don't have the right credentials, you can't get onto any of the like production or film crews or any of that stuff. Actors is a different thing entirely.
I got you.
That's something else. But the industry itself, there's a lot of money to be made there.
Well, I mean,
But if you don't have the credentials, you can't play.
it's basically the credentials are a key to the gate to get you on the other side, but they only allow certain people to walk through that gate. And they're doing it legally because they're technically not discriminating against you because of race, color,
Starting
and sex.
to get shot down.
It is now.
Affirmative action got canned, but the universities are just finding other ways around that. This is just point blank fact. Deal with it. I don't care if you call me istophobe igot. I don't care. Most of the good medical programs, most of the good law programs, at most of what were once the good universities, less and less so, you cannot get in if you are a straight white male.
No.
Can't get in. They won't take you. There's I think it's Northern in Illinois, in Chicago, the really good school in Chicago.
I'm not familiar with that.
Blatantly put out a press release that said they were not going to accept any white male students into the law program or the medical program or a couple of other different programs.
They need to get sued.
It's gatekeeping.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's kind of why we're fucked. We have all these people in these high positions that were allowed through the gate because they had the credentials and the bullshit classes or whatever you want to call it. So they have the right mindset to be there, which is socialist, communist.
Yes, they're being screened.
Yes.
The military is now that way too.
Yes.
You couldn't move up the ranks in the military after a certain point without specific credentials, but now it's even worse.
It is unbelievable. Like, first of all, I always had a dislike for officers ever since I was a private in the military. And as I went through my 33 years of service, the officer quality went down because of the way that they were taught what to think and not how to think.
Yes.
And generals, fuck those guys. They are all backstabbing, throat cutting pieces of shit who have, learned how to butt dart other people. And, they
butt dart people.
And they used to have, they're used to having getting a mouth hug with a head bobs to get things done. So if you don't play those games, you're not going to be able to go up the ranks. That's one of the main reasons I never got promoted to sergeant major, because I fell on my sword in Iraq. And I had the sergeant major of the Army actually look me in the eye when I was at the 100-year Army Reserve reenlistment ceremony and say, I'll never make E9. And that was Sergeant Major of the Army Preston.
Really?
Yes.
He looked you in the eye and
shook my hand and said, you're never going to make E9 again. And I was never put on the list ever after that.
Wow. You weren't in the club.
No, but if I run into him, I'll beat the fuck out of that son of a bitch.
Okay.
Just saying.
I'm okay with that. I knew probably 3 good officers in my entire time in the military. We are wandering off down the rabbit hole.
Yes, we are.
Yet again, though.
But this is credentialism. This is how it affects whole organizations.
Yes, that is correct.
It has ruined the military.
Yes.
People are not enlisting because it's a huge fucking clusterfuck. I wrote a whole essay on this and put it on LinkedIn about 2.5 years back. It's, I don't know, like 11 pages long or something. It's unbelievable.
LinkedIn is useless anyway. Nobody reads anything on LinkedIn.
I know. I just put up there because I needed to, blow off some steam.
That's fine. That's fine. I put up a thing on stovepiping and like 3 people read it.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Stovepiping is a topic for another time. That's not for here. So along with the trades that we were talking about, going into welding and stuff like that, I have one of the reasons I talked to Pop about doing this subject tonight is I talked to a guy who was a cook for 40 years. He's been cooking for 40 years. Restaurants won't hire him as a chef because he hasn't been to culinary school.
That's so
But
stupid.
they'll hire a 22-year-old who has been to culinary school. And here's this guy. He's in his late 50s. He's been cooking for 40 years. He's run kitchens. They won't hire him.
He needs to start his own restaurant then.
That takes a lot of money.
I know.
It takes a lot of money. And he's already past the prime age to do something like that because it takes a lot of energy as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I've expedited in the window of a big hotel. Dude, there's so much to do in a kitchen. So guys like that who have the experience, they can't get hired. Again, with the gatekeepers, that's how they control who gets in and out. They don't care what kind of experience you've got. Your experience is irrelevant.
And also, they use that excuse. If you're not the right fit, they'll look at you and go, well, you don't have enough experience. So which is it? Either I have the credentials or the experience, but you can tell that they don't want you because you're probably the wrong skin color and you have the wrong thing hanging between your legs.
That's true also. It's a way for them to control access. Absolutely. It's particularly virulent in academia. I have a copy of Virgil's Aeneid, the story of the refugees from Troy after the whole Trojan horse incident and their journey to Italy via Carthage in North Africa. And it is a 1924 copy of the Aeneid, obviously in book form.
Yep.
At the beginning of it, it covers the credentials, well, not the credentials, the requirements just to be seen to apply for Harvard in 1925. You had to know Ovid, Sophocles, Socrates, Plato, Virgil, Julius Caesar, and you had to be able to recite passages from all of these things. This was to get into the Greek program at Harvard in 1925. Another guy was talking online the other day. He found a math textbook from 1930s. And he said his grandfather used to be able to solve the equations in this textbook with a slide rule. He couldn't do it with a calculator.
Yep.
With a scientific calculator.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why one of the things I roll my eyes at, people say, oh, we could never get to the moon. We never had the tech. Nobody knows how to do the math anymore. They did that math on chalkboards.
Yeah, well,
with slide rules.
They did that movie about that one colored woman who did a lot of those higher level equations to make the moon landings possible.
That's not accurate, though.
I know. I'm just saying they made a movie about it.
I know. It's not accurate.
Okay.
That's a little bit of credentialism there, too. At any rate, what I'm getting at is the intelligence level from our schools has been dumbed down so hard. And credentialism is the only thing that they care about. Your tests, your SAT, your ACT, the MCATs, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
all they want is to see you take a test so that they can see that you will comply, so they'll let you up to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing attorneys with degrees from Brown who can't write a sentence.
Well, this is what's happening. All right. I'm walking around after I got dinged in the head with an IQ somewhere around 120 to 130. Okay. I've run into people who have master's degrees that are blithering fucking idiots.
Blatantly idiots.
They literally, jumped through all the hoops, took the tests, whatever, taught what to think and not how to think, and they think they're actually smarter than me. And because of said degree. But when you speak to them or interact with them or have, if they have to figure something out on a dime, they just can't do it. They don't have the imagination, the flexibility, and they just stagnate in place.
Yeah.
It's very common.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of that kind of person in the professional world. I was shocked when I returned from overseas. I left the country basically in 1996 and didn't come back until 2005 because my MOS was a shortage MOS, and anytime they needed one of us, they'd just grab you from wherever you are. Hi, you're in Korea, I know, but we really need you to go down here to Okinawa so that you can get on this boat here that'll take you to a boat that takes you to the PI. And when you're done there, by the way, we've got this thing going on in North Africa. And you're like, Can I go home? I just want to go home, man.
I got you.
But anyway, I got back to the States and everybody was an idiot. It was like I had walked into the movie Idiocracy.
Yeah. I don't get it. I literally don't get it.
In the span of 10 years.
Well, when you just to get to walk across the stage to get green beret.
Yeah.
They give you several IQ tests in the Q course and in
and the MMBQ.
And Special Forces Assessment. I took 2 IQ tests.
Yep.
And then I did it again when I was in, going through 18 Bravo. I'm a gun bunny.
Yep.
But, if you don't score a certain level, you're automatically just gone. They just call you in and go, hey, you fucked up a test.
This is
out.
real simple. And I used to look at the freaking admin guys and infantry guys are souls too. I said, you don't hand an idiot a rocket launcher.
Correct.
You hand him a Skillcraft pen. And the admin guys would be like,
it's fucked up, man.
Just do my paperwork. Sorry, Sergeant.
That's pretty much how it goes.
You don't hand an idiot a rocket launcher, period.
But we're handing idiots the keys to the country now.
The idiots have had the keys to the country for some time.
I know. But we have idiots, working at Boeing and other aircraft factories, the diversity hires. And we're seeing how much that's working out. We're having all kinds of technical problems with the airlines. And guess what? If you're up in the air and all it takes is one part, the critical component to break or fail, and guess what? You are road pizza that's on fire.
Yes.
That's pretty much
a very unpleasant way to go, by the way.
Yes.
So this particular catalog that Pop tossed out here toward the when we were setting up for the show tonight, University of the People. First of all, that's a blatantly communist name for a university, and universities are blatantly communist. So there you have it. What are you going to do? General education requirements for bachelor's degrees. Now, a degree today has nothing to do with the subject unless you're in like one of the serious like biochemistry or something.
Or law.
Or even law.
Even law?
They're taking these courses.
Yeah, you're right. Like 2/3 of your general education is nothing but,
unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
These are the credits that you're required to take. Information literacy, online education strategies. What is that? Get that out of my face. Shut up.
Yeah.
Quantitative reasoning, 6 credits required. College algebra, calculus. When I was a kid in high school, these were high school classes.
Correct. And they're going to hit you.
Algebra, calculus, and statistics.
I believe this place is like $200 to $450 a credit hour. So each a 3 credit hour class, it's $1,200 to $1,600 bucks.
Well, they also rope you into the debt machine. That's another thing I want to do an episode on later, how your life has become a subscription. You have to pay for everything in your life now. And if you don't have something to pay for, they'll make something for you to pay for, like, college loans.
Yes. Correct.
7.8% interest on a home loan, where you're never getting out of that debt.
Well, but you see here, like the information literacy, they have only one class to take. You have to take that.
Yeah.
All right. Then you have the 6 credit hours. That means you could take two of the 3 there.
Yep.
Intro to stats and calculus.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Intro to stats should be an 11th grade high school course. I remember that.
Yeah, and actually I took Intro to Stats, Stat 1, Stat 2, all in the same semester at OU.
Yeah.
So I took the prereq, the main statistical class, and then the advanced in one semester. So I literally came out of one classroom, walked down 2 doors, went into the next one. I don't know how I was able to do that because the professor of the Stats 1 is like, you need to like take the prerequisite. I'm like, oh, I'm taking that at 9 o'clock. It's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm taking the prereq, Stats 1 and Stat 2 all in a row, getting it done. I go, how did you do that? I go, I just applied and it just slipped through the cracks. Yeah. He goes, well, you're getting a B here, so you're doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you do about that? Communication, 3 credits required. Composition 2. Again, high school class. Actually, probably junior high school. We used to have to do compositions.
Well, hang on.
Remember writing papers?
No. Well, first of all, when I went to Oakland,
I actually like writing papers. So for him, this is going to be like murder.
I had to I went and took the test when I went to OCC. Nobody asked me for SAT or ACT scores because I'd already been in the Army. I was like 22.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I took the class, and they're like, well, you're going to have to take basic rock counting and cave painting and then work your way up to college algebra. I'm like, yeah, right. Okay.
Basic rock counting.
That's exactly what they
That's
said.
fantastic. They gave this guy rocket launchers.
And now look at this. They have English composition 2, only one selection.
What I like here is values and ethical reasoning, ethics and social responsibility. You know what this is? This is communist indoctrination.
It's exactly what that is. There's
This
one.
is how you're going to think, period.
Yeah. It's one class. You can't get around it.
Yep.
And if you don't take that fucking class, you are out of the program.
Yes.
And most colleges have something like this that you can't get around, even though it's completely fucking useless.
Yes. Civilization studies, cultures, and beliefs, Greek and Roman civilization. I'd love to review that class. I'd love to audit that class. I'd be very curious what aspects of that they taught.
Yeah. I mean, when I had to take the humanities, I took intro to religion, and I went through the Buddhist religion, the Islam and Christian religions, and then I did art appreciation 1 and 2, which I thought was a waste of time, but you had to take it. It is what it is. And you're like, why do I need to take this if I want to be a public administrator? You need to be well-rounded, which means you need to be indoct.
Yes, that's exactly correct. Well-rounded, my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Humanities, 6 credits required. Art history, introduction to philosophy, world literature. I'm guessing we're talking about early Soviet propaganda, Karl Marx, and Frida Kahlo's writings or something like that, because they're not going to teach you anything that's actually
Going to help you.
While social and behavioral sciences, 6 credit hours, introduction to economics, globalization, introduction to health psychology.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Emotional intelligence. I did a short video on that one.
What kind of, like, that's just a fucking excuse. They say you're not emotionally intelligent enough means you are not manipulative.
What
can't be manipulated.
What this is, and I cover it in that. I covered that whole class in 8 minutes.
I gotcha.
In the vid that I just stuck up on Rumble. These aren't things that should be taught in college unless you're going into like psychology or psychiatry or something like that. There's no reason for you to take a class on emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is basically your maturity level.
But either you are.
How do you handle things?
Yeah, either you are or you're not.
Yes, correct.
All right. And have a class on it's probably not going to help you out.
And you can learn. You can learn emotional intelligence. Well, most people can learn emotional intelligence.
Don't include me in that. I'm not that guy. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't care about your emotions, your feelings. It doesn't fucking matter. So I would fail that class because I would hurt everyone's fucking feelings. And all I do is tell them the truth. Yes, your hair looks like a rat nest.
Yeah.
Your one eye is pointing to the left. You smell like cigarettes. You're an idiot. I don't know what to tell you.
You hurt my feelings.
Don't care.
Don't care. That's what I'm talking about. You can learn to get over the hurt feelings thing, and you really should. Thicken your skin. It will serve you.
The only one on that list for the social and behavioral sciences, like intro to economics, maybe globalization. They're already trying to do that right now. It's failing.
Yes. My favorite here in natural science is the obviousness of this. Introduction to biology, biology 1 for health studies majors. Most people aren't going to want classes like that. They're going to take the coasting class, which is introduction to environmental sciences, which is the propaganda of global warming. It's hot outside right now. It's global warming. No, it's summer, you idiot.
Earth warming, everyone's going to die.
Yes.
Even though they're saying that the sea levels have been rising.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't. Plymouth Rock
is still there.
It's a rock. It's an actual rock with the date that they landed.
And it's still there.
And the water level around the rock has not risen.
Yep. It's the same.
Yes. There are pictures of the harbor in Australia where the retaining wall that has been there for like 250 years, water level is still...
You can still see it.
The same.
It's the same.
Water level is the same.
Yeah.
You know, things like the Great Lakes, for a couple of years, the water levels went down and stuff. That's natural.
But here's another.
It happens.
These college students are walking out of just a 4-year degree, brainwashing, $60,000 in debt, and 2/3 of that debt or more. And 2/3 of that debt were for classes they didn't fucking need and were completely unwarranted.
Yeah.
Like if I want to become an accountant, I want to go to college. And if I need to learn basic math or work my way up, fine. But I need to take accounting 1, 2, corporate accounting. There's a whole, range of actual classes which will help with that profession. But to get to that core level, I have to take 2/3 of that degree in useless horse shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing that we didn't do before we started off on this was define credentialism. So I'm going to do that real quick here. I actually hit the share tab button this time.
Okay.
I failed a bunch of those last week. I failed my share tab test.
All right. Well, we'll get it fixed.
Undue emphasis on credentials, such as college degrees, as prerequisites to employment. So this is a defined, known thing. They are perfectly aware that credentialism is going on. And like we've been saying, it's used to gatekeep. So we don't value education any longer. And this is exhibited by the children that are coming out of the schools today. There's a school in Philadelphia where 100% of the class failed basic reading and math.
Yeah.
And another one in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that every now and again, you'll get news stories from the Detroit school district that are completely wiping their ass with the sheets on their way out. They're having whole high school graduation classes where only 3 to 5 people can actually do low-level college algebra out of an entire school.
Yeah.
And anyone out there says, well, they don't give Detroit enough money. That is absolute fucking horseshit. They get an insane amount of cash per student and they squander it because of the corruption and nobody does shit about it.
It's all kickbacks and payoffs.
This is another subject. So
absolutely.
We can go into that one.
Oh man, there's a whole bunch of I worked for a firm down there. We did the police, fire, and rescue retirement fund case.
Yep.
Woo. The level of graft I saw in that. And it's the same thing in the education system. We don't value education. We value the credential. This was written almost 4 years ago now.
Yep.
So it's time for our country to reckon with itself on the deeply held value of education. Is it education that we value, or is it the credentials that result from certain types of education? We've lived in a society that has emphasized the importance of education from the very beginning. Ben Franklin once said, investment in knowledge pays the best interest. So the author clearly isn't as literate as he would like to be, because if you read the sentence again, we have lived in a society that has emphasized the importance of education from the very beginning. Education is the process of gaining knowledge or being taught in school. It's not necessarily knowledge. Ben Franklin once said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Education and knowledge are not the same thing.
Nope.
Similar refrain has been made by nearly every American leader since, and reflected by generations of Americans at dinner tables across the country with George Bush's No Child Left Behind school policy, which was the beginning of all of this, because unbeknownst to us, our buddy George Bush was just one of these POSs.
Well, first of all, that No Child Left Behind, basically the child that's lagging behind becomes the standard. So they hold everyone back to the dumbest individual in the herd. Well, Darwin dictates
exactly what they've done.
If you're the idiot at the back of the herd, you get picked off by predators.
Yes.
But now we have to hold everyone back because of this one fucking idiot. I'm sorry. Fuck that guy and educate everyone to the highest standard. That's just my opinion.
Missed it.
What?
You've missed it.
What'd I miss?
The idiot is the standard for a reason.
Yeah.
They want a pacified worker drone society that knows just enough to stand on a factory floor, push a button, pull a lever, make a thing, go home to your little 1-bedroom apartment. Maybe you'll be allowed to make 1 or 2 new cogs, which will be fed into the system and come out to push a button, pull a lever.
So they basically want everyone to be adiatas.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They're deliberately manufacturing worker drones, dumbing people down.
And listen, the whole Bell system, that was put in place to make factory workers, and that started in the 20s or some shit?
factories are a good way to do production.
Correct.
What the fuck is wrong with me? I need to stop that. Sorry. Henry Ford perfected the assembly line. He just did. He knew what he was doing. But he also paid his workers really well. You'll hear a lot of crap about what he did, but what he did do is pay his workers really well, perfect a bunch of processes. That's not what's being done today because all of that stuff is automated. It's robots now, a lot of it. So
Well,
they just
I've
work with
known
drones.
quite a few guys who are the dudes that fix those robots.
Mm-hmm.
They make decent money.
Sure, they have to have sort of an upper class that could do the fancy stuff, like fix the robots, keep the dam running, keep the
He's
plane
dead
in the
now,
air.
but yeah, it is what it is.
Well, they still have guys like that.
Yeah.
Lurking beneath the surface is the real crisis of conscience for our education system as to whether it values education and learning or simply the credentials that accrue from it. At the core of this are colleges and degrees. I know what it is. I got sunburned really bad this weekend, and it's fatiguing me.
Well, you're out of shape or you're out of years. It's one of
I'm
the two.
weak and undisciplined.
I'm out of years.
I'm out of years too.
Yeah. So
I'm out of
what are you going to do?
Colleges and universities do indeed suggest they value education. For example, lifelong learning is one of the most common phrases in college mission statements. But they don't reward lifelong learning in any way. They only reward the learning that comes from the form of degrees, 2-year, 4-year, and postgrad. They don't provide recognition and credentialing for just 1 year of college, nor for the pursuing bachelor's degrees. Look, I have worked in law for close to 17 years now, and with a little bit of studying, I'll bet you I could sit down and pass the bar, but I'm not allowed to. Do you know why?
Because you don't have a 4-year degree and a law degree.
That's correct. I do have a 4-year degree. I don't have a law degree.
Oh, okay. Now,
And
I have a 4-year degree, but I am not going to law school.
I have
suck
a
it.
couple of associate's degrees as well.
There's a bunch of alls they can fuck right there. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. But because I don't have that credential of having gone to law school and earned that particular piece of paper, I can't take the bar and practice law, even though I'm perfectly capable of it.
Case in point, down in Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing all kinds of corruption take place.
Yes.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they don't know what they're fucking doing.
Yes.
And they literally are using the system to crush dudes into taking a plea deal because then they don't have to go to trial and actually show the world they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I like the judge putting people in prison for not telling
who narked on
him for breaking the law.
Correct. But
the judge hasn't been removed from the bench.
That's what you get when you have the lowest denominator getting through the gate, and then people who should be there not allowed because of some bullshit.
That is credentialism in action. One of the laws of unintended consequences in play here is when you have credentialism, eventually somebody who sucks manages to get a hold of one of those credentials, and he gets in, and after a few years, he's the oldest guy in the room now.
Mm-hmm.
The others have left. And he sucks. He doesn't know what he's doing. But he knows he has the credentials, and now he's the gatekeeper of the credentials.
Kind of like that judge.
So he lets other people in who suck.
Yes.
Now your mid-level management sucks too.
Fannie Willis.
And they bring in more people who suck. You see what's happening here?
Big suckathon.
They keep people out who are competent because those people could replace them, and they know this.
Correct.
They're not smart enough to do what they're supposed to do, but they are smart enough to know that if they allow this guy here who actually knows his shit in, that guy could replace him.
Well, here's an example. All right. You've heard of Mercedes Carrera?
I have.
She's a porn star. She's been in jail for like 4.5 fucking years. No trial. 38 postponements.
Why are you tracking porn stars in jail?
Well, because she used to be a fan of the show.
Really?
Yeah. I used to talk to her on the side, and she loved what we're doing because we're helping dudes and all that stuff.
Okay.
So, I'm just saying that you should not be in prison without a trial for 5 fucking years.
Why is she in prison for 5 years?
It's a sexual abuse thing. I don't know the whole deal, but still, you should get a fucking trial.
Tawdry.
Yeah. But we had a guy on the show who spent 5 years in Wayne County, and he had 17 or 18 postponements because Wayne County is just as it's more incompetent today than it was when I was a process server in the mid-90s.
The people in prison for January 6th, none of them has had any process.
Correct.
They've been arrested and placed in jail. That's it. And more of them are being placed in jail now. This is, again, credentialism in action, because all the people doing the arresting, they're all cronies now at this point.
Yep.
So for 2 or even 3 years of education, aside from a vaguely defined movement on the part of some colleges to offer certificate programs, there isn't much that structures alumni lifelong learning in a formal way either. In reality, lifelong learning is more of a myth than an outcome. Oh, you mean it's a catchphrase?
Yeah.
It's fancy words meant to impress you?
Kind of like their degrees.
Yeah. For the past several decades, champions of education have run well-meaning campaigns to improve college attainment by setting degree accomplishment goals at both the federal and state level. I have a really good idea. Let's give the federal government control of education. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, we've seen it. I mean, they've literally destroyed the education processes across the country.
Yes.
And I have watched the standards go into the toilet over the past 25 years.
Yes.
I mean, it was when I graduated from high school in 1986. I really did not learn much in high school other than how to take a beating, how to, keep a stiff upper lip.
Yeah.
Geometry. I learned that well from Miss Backus 1 and 2, and Mr. Working for English.
I had Mr. Working for English.
Yeah, for composition.
She was a good teacher.
Yes, she was.
She hated the military.
I know. She really freaked out when I told her I was going to be an airborne ranger.
Yeah.
Like, no,
I showed up for the hometown recruiting thing in uniform in Berkeley.
Yeah.
I walked into the high school in uniform and I saw her and I went to say hi.
She
just did an about face and walked away.
Yep.
Before I went to the same school as Pop, though, I went to a high school called Eisenhower, which is north, about 15 miles.
In the sticks?
It was in the sticks at the time.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But at that time, Eisenhower was actually a decent high school, and the other schools that I went to were still teaching a classical education, basically. And that's where I got all of my bookworminess and nerdiness and stuff.
I got you.
And then I got to Berkeley and just got in a lot of fights with the jocks. And
yeah, I know how that worked.
Yeah.
All right, so we're trying to rip this apart so you guys don't fall victim to this horse shit, or if you do, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people try to get jobs, they do what they got to do, they don't realize there's credentials and gatekeepers, and it destroys your confidence, and that's not a good thing. You should know what's going on. That's why we're doing this show tonight for you guys.
Yeah. Let's do 12 most useless college classes.
Oh, this could be great.
Oh, this first paragraph kills me because, and I'll tell you why, no college class is truly useless. No matter how obscure or niche they may be, they all teach you something. But the fact of the matter is many courses aren't going to boost your bank account down the line. I want you to listen to me for a second. Don't take a class on underwater basket weaving, you idiot. You have to pay for that at the end. You can learn underwater basket weaving at home on your own time by watching YouTube videos. A lot of the stupid little classes they put there because they know that you're going to, I really want to take African rock collecting. What are you doing? You got to pay for that.
It's a hobby class.
It's a hobby class.
Or it's a PSYOP class.
Or it's a PSYOP class. Or it could be both in some cases.
Yeah.
When my kid was going through college, she had to take a music appreciation class. And she's like, okay, a music appreciation class. I like music, And it was nothing but freaking African beating on hollow log with stick stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, why did I take this class? I'm like, I don't know, but now you have to pay for it.
Now you're paying for it, baby.
There are many reasons for this. Your career is in a different field. It's hard to land a job that utilizes material, or perhaps the skills you learn aren't practical in the economy. Let's take a look at some classes you can honestly skip taking. Dead languages.
Latin.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy this.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. Sorry, Greek, Latin, and Sanskrit aficionados, but you don't really need to take these courses in college. Let me tell you why you do, dipshit. Okay, first of all, Greek is the root for all of the sciences. It's the root for all of the sciences. Latin is the base language for most of the European languages spoken today.
I'm sorry. I'm going to have to disagree.
That's because you're not one of those thinky people.
I'm not a language guy. I'm a
No.
dyslexia.
That's okay. But to say that nobody should take these classes is stupid.
Well, that particular
There's
one.
a lot of reasons to take these particular classes.
Now, I have a bone to pick with the second one.
You have a bone to pick with the second one?
Mm-hmm.
I think math is a bunch of crap. I don't understand it. It's gobbledygook. It's numbers flipping around on pages and somebody draws a random line through it and calls it an angle.
Well, here's the
What the
thing.
hell is that?
The statistics.
Yeah.
All right. I've always been a statistics guy ever since I was an E1 in the Army.
Okay.
I pissed off all kinds of platoon leaders and company commanders. They'd give an op order, and I'd be like, that's about a 40% chance of success. What the fuck do you know? I'm like, I just say. They would go.
I hate math guys.
They would go fucking berserk. But
Steve, before we move on here, I actually saw this one chat from Mando here.
Yeah.
It's something that you'll like. Steve, what's 1 + 2 - 3 divided by Pop's X's alleged stacking test altitude?
Hey,
Since
man.
you like your...
I fucking hate you, dying of fire.
But like in my degree when I graduated was in public administration.
Yeah.
And you had to have statistical analysis. I took all of the statistic class that Oakland University had.
Yeah.
And I use it for the show.
So here's the thing. This guy here is an idiot for his choices because each of these things applies in a different way. Languages, if you want to learn multiple languages, if you want to be able to communicate in business cultures, like if I go to Europe right now, I can get around the whole continent because I speak just enough of each of those languages to be understood and to ask for things that I need. If you need to do calculations like you're doing finance and mortgages and stuff like that, you need statistics. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
To say that these are useless classes in a blanket manner is stupidity.
Yep. And correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of legal terms are still written in Latin. So
that is correct. I use
be
that on a daily basis.
Yeah, I think that in my opinion, they need to start scaling back the Latin in the.
Well, quotas demonstrandum. This guy here doesn't have any idea what he's talking about.
I'm just saying.
too many
If I get a
for the
fucking
mobsters.
contract,
I just landed your ass.
I want to be able to read it in grunt speak and understand what the fuck is going on. I don't need to get the needle knocked out of the groove with a bunch of consonant words that I don't even know what the fuck they mean. I'm sorry. That's exactly what happens. Like literally, somebody says a 4 or 5 syllable word that I don't know what the fuck it is. You literally watch the needle come out of the groove. I'll be like,
Look, I don't want to see jumbly pages of numbers, page after page of spreadsheet crap numbers with lines drawn through it, okay? I just want the one number at the end. That's all I need.
Correct.
Following me.
Yeah, I got you.
That's awesome. Turned out to be better than I thought. Okay, now here we go. English literature. Now, this is a niche subject. We need people who know English literature, but it shouldn't be a huge catalog for a bunch of universities. If you want to know all about literature, okay, that's great, but not everybody needs English literature. So this one, I sort of agree with, only in the sense that
Blake
it's
has a
niche.
degree in English.
Yeah, but Blake's. Have you tried the headphones on after Blake has put them on?
He's got one hell of a mama record.
His cranium is like this or something.
But he's now working in making videos.
Yes.
Not working in the major that he has, which is very common.
We need people who know our history, and our history is written through English literature, both fact and fiction.
Mm-hmm.
We need the people who know those things, but it's a niche doctrinal thing. Everybody does not need English literature. Musicology, same thing. We need our music. A lot of our music tells the story of our people and where they're from in many cases.
Yeah.
You can listen to generations of music. I can turn on the radio right now, and if some 50s shit comes on, you know exactly what generation that's from, and you have a general idea of what happened in that generation. Again, very niche.
Yep.
Art history, same thing. You need those people.
Well, I took the art history because they made me.
There you go. They didn't need to take that. There was no reason to make you take that.
Well, I know, but it was either art history or some other humanities, like commie.
You
fucking
don't. What do you
bullshit.
need humanities for when you're a math major? That's
I know
ridiculous.
it is ridiculous, but that's what we're trying to get across to you guys. Like they're literally forcing shit upon you that you don't fucking need, and you're gonna have to pay for it.
How this is about credentialism and not actual education. Poetry, I think, should be mandatory. I think everybody should be forced to read long, epic German poems which can run on for hundreds of pages.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually believe that, but I would love to torture people like that. I would torture people.
I mean,
I'm the guy who reads Beowulf for fun,
Yeah,
which is
well,
basically one big long poem.
if you go to my book, there's like at the end, there's like 6 or 7 pages of poems I wrote while I was on active duty. So there you go.
There you go.
It's all about war and killing and shit. You'll like it.
Most poetry really happens on the fly like that. I think it should be a subcategory of literature. It shouldn't be its own topic, really, because most real good poetry gets written.
I wrote a poem in my head before I drove into the April 10th fucking shootout.
Yeah, there you go.
It says, I have no fear of death nor pain, and for this world I hold nothing but the deepest of disdain. And my only earthly fear is that which I may come to be upon my time in the infantry. For in the uncharted darkness of my future lies, a monster lies in wait for me, armed with his slew of wounds and misery, but fiercer still through both life and limb. 'Tis I who lie in wait for him.
We just got popped to recite poetry on the air.
I wrote it.
That's fantastic. Advanced math courses. Again, this entirely depends on what you're doing.
If you're in engineering, you need to have math.
You should be having calculus in high school. You can do this. It's a thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Physical education. Look, you need some sort of physical conditioning. I'm not saying you have to take a bunch of gym classes, but during the course of your education, I think you should have, there should be like a half credit requirement.
Running around in Call of Duty does not get you in shape.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
It doesn't. I'm sorry.
So what would you say about bringing back the presidential physical exam?
Fuck yeah. They should do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't see young people should be in some reasonable amount of shape.
You need to bring back
Period.
dodgeball.
Yes.
Field hockey, where people hit each other with fucking sticks, baby.
Water polo.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
You got to be in shape for that shit.
Oh, yeah. You needed to be able to swim.
Yeah.
That was fun.
But they take that all out because some people's feelings get hurt and everyone's a winner and everyone gets a trophy. Fuck you.
Archaeology. Okay, this is another niche field. We need people who know our history. We need people who know our past. But you shouldn't be required to take archaeology in college. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
It should be like the one kid who was digging on the playground in 3rd grade and like found a spoon from like 1930 or something and went, whoa. And you know, that's going to be the next kid who finds the next Angkor Wat in Cambodia or something like that.
When he'll find the
the one Indiana Jones in the bunch.
Yeah.
It's like one out of every couple of 100,000 kids.
Well, you do know why most women are archaeologists?
Why?
Because women are great at digging up shit from the past.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
That's pretty much a world religion. I had to take a couple of those classes.
Feel things are more important to people than their spirituality. It just doesn't belong. It doesn't belong at college unless you're going to become a theology major. Again, it's a niche thing. Yes, we need to know about the world's religions. Yes, we need to know about whatever religion is core and central to our own beliefs. But it's not something that everybody should take. I don't believe it is. Philosophy. You're going to hate me for this one, and I don't care.
Okay.
You should have to read at least 2 or 3 sections of Plato's Republic in high school. Because the lessons of the allegory of the cave and the lesson of the ship's pilot are extremely valuable lessons.
Yeah. I took one philosophy class in high school or in college because they made me. But here's the weird part. While I was in the Army,
Mhm.
I read all kinds of philosophy shit.
The Army does that to you
The-
because you have some moments where you're like,
I got nothing to do.
I'm mortal.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I read the I Ching.
Yeah.
You know, all the Chinese philosophy.
Yeah.
I mean, and I wrote it in my book just because if it's not of your religion doesn't make it any stupider.
there are certain lessons from classical philosophy that should be taught, that you should have to study.
Well, there's
But
a lot of
philosophy
life
as-
lessons
Oh, yeah.
you learn in philosophy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you want to have some real fun? Read Marcus Aurelius's Meditations.
Oh, yeah. I read that guy. Not all of it. I read about half of
Yeah.
that shit.
Marcus Aurelius was you, but 2,000 years ago.
Yeah. He knew it was coming and he accepted it. He
Yeah.
did what he had to do. Fuck it. I got it.
But philosophy as a whole subject, again, it's a niche thing. Sorry.
What about theater? That is, listen, if you want to do classes in theater, go to a college that specializes in theater.
Yeah.
It should not be offered in a regular college setting, in my opinion.
The colleges should have theater clubs. When you're done with class,
Yes.
it's 8:00 at night. You all go to the theater on campus and you all rehearse a play and you put it on for your fellow students.
I
That should be theater.
you should
Well,
fucking pay for
They kind of are doing that already because they're taking up the peaceful religion of faith, putting on the scarves and then making encampments and doing creating scenes and whatnot. So they are still
Not a-
kind of doing theater.
Drag, are we?
it. Please don't do that.
No,
Okay, good. Want to make
No.
sure. I just want to make sure that
I'm just saying. Speaking with the present events going on over in bumfuck Egypt or whatever the fucker it is.
the
all the
point here is
protests.
I don't think theater should be available as a college major. It should be an art school, like Interlochen up by Traverse City. We have here in Michigan, we have a school called Interlochen that is like the old TV show Fame from the 70s.
Yep.
That's Interlochen, basically. It's an arts school. You go there because you want to learn that stuff. Okay, great. Good for you. But it shouldn't be something you're forced to take in college. Total waste of money.
And time.
Absolutely, yeah, and time.
I mean,
So-
listen, there is no reason why it takes 5 years to get a 4-year fucking degree.
Indecisive young people who shouldn't be at college anyway, probably,
Correct.
because they should be at a trade school or starting a family.
Or doing a walkabout to figure out what the fuck they want to do.
Yes.
Take a couple years off to get out of high school. Figure the shit out.
30 years ago, I would have said do a hitch in the military. Don't do a hitch in the military today.
No,
Do not.
I cannot recommend that in good faith for you guys.
Go nowhere near the United States military right now. 30 years ago, I would have said go do one hitch, go do a couple of years.
Mhm.
Don't do it. Don't go anywhere near today's military. The 20 most useless university degrees. This ought to be fun. I haven't looked at this tab yet.
Oh, this can be good.
I knew the courses. I knew that was coming. Without further ado, here are culinary arts. Budding chefs may have previously thought a culinary college is a no-brainer, but recent statistics actually suggest otherwise. I just heard a guy who was a 40-year chef say he couldn't get hired because he didn't have a culinary arts degree. So the author of this article has their head firmly implanted in their fourth point of contact. Here's the way it used to work. I worked in hotels. I mentioned that. You started out as a kitchen bitch, peeling shrimp,
Or a bar back.
making salad, or a bar back. And then you worked your way up to fry cook,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe pantry. And then you could work banquets where you were plating large numbers of the same plate over and over again. And you worked your way up to an actual cook on the line over a period of 10, 15 years. And the chef would take notice of you and say, okay. And he would give you more and more tasks. You're the sous chef for the evening, which means you're in charge of the whole kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And after 15 years, the chef would go, okay. And he would send you to culinary school as a finishing class, because in a restaurant, you have to know how to order all of the food, date all of the food, get rid of the bad food, know what bad food is in the first place, understand the budget for the entire fucking restaurant, and all the other stuff that goes with it, the cost of plates, the cost of all the cookware, the cost of the cloches, the little fancy lids they put on the plates.
Yep.
That's called a cloche. You had to know all of those things, and that's what culinary school used to be for. It was a finishing class for somebody who was already a cook.
Who had the experience.
Yes.
And it was basically the frosting on the cake.
I've been back in the 80s and 90s. I never worked for a chef who was under the age of 45.
Wow.
Never met a chef under the age of 45. And I met quite a few of them.
All right.
Fashion design. Again, this is arguable. My wife went to school for fashion design. She's really good at it. She knows her stuff. The thing is, talk about
You can't make money.
If you don't know somebody,
Yeah,
you can't get in.
You got to be in the circle.
You have to know, like Yves Saint Laurent herself, or something like that.
So
It's so
basically
hard to break into.
It's who you know, right?
So
this is
entirely who you blow. I mean,
no blow, whatever. But this is all bullshit right here.
Yes.
So if you go to school for a 4-year degree in fashion, you've literally flushed it down the toilet if you don't have connections to get into that world.
Yes.
Yeah, and even if you do have connections, just watch if you can, stomach watching a modern fashion show.
Oh my God!
Don't even get me started.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know what the hell they were smoking, but I'm pretty sure Hunter Biden had their dealer on speed dial.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Jesus Christ.
Art history is another heavily credentialed thing. You're not getting anywhere near any of the good museums if you don't know precisely who to slob the knob.
Correct.
You're just not.
Listen, and also we're going into a time of a terrible economy.
Yes.
Most people are not going to spend money on art, go to art shows or what have you, because it's fucking expensive. And with inflation, people need to pull in what they're doing to save that money to buy food, keep the lights on, gas in their car.
Yep.
So in all actuality, art history is basically a luxury. It's not necessary when shit goes south.
Yeah. Music. Okay. One of my old friends from high school is now married to the first chair violinist for the Ohio Symphony Orchestra, or the Cleveland Symphony Orchestra. Anyway, one of the orchestras from Ohio. That's the only paid professional musician that I am even remotely aware of. This is another, unless you are the best bassoonist in the entire world, it's probably not a degree
No.
you need.
No, it's not.
Biology. Why is that?
Hang on. About the music.
Yeah.
The music.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know, while I was in the AGR system, when I went to New York, 6 people that were other NCOs around me, 4-year degrees in music. And
what do they do? Play bass in the Army?
I know. They weren't even in the band. They were fucking wielding a pen. Like, what the fuck? You went to get this degree? He goes, yeah, I know. It's stupid. But I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's a waste of time and money.
Yeah, total waste of time and money. Biology is one of those, I mean, you need to really be into it because it's a dry subject, period. Communications. Now, what kind of communications? This is a strangely vague degree that is applicable to almost any form of media. Yeah, that's true. I have a degree in visual communications, but I put it to use. I know how to do a whole bunch of stuff with visual, like slides and presentations and stuff. That I'm a PowerPoint Ranger. I know. A PowerPoint Ranger tab.
I used to smoke the shit out of OCS cadets
Yeah.
when they had stupid degrees, and that was one of them. Like, almost, sir, what's your degree in communications? Do something, motherfucker! You dumb motherfucker!
Liberal arts.
This is such an excuse for a money pit if there ever was one. Boom!
That's it. That's all we have to say about that.
It's a money pit.
It's you're an idiot, and there's no reason to take a liberal arts degree.
Correct.
Studio arts and fine art. Okay. I'm going to tell this story because it upsets people, and I don't care because it's funny.
Okay.
Once upon a time, a young man from Austria went to school and wanted to become an architect. And they told him that he was no good as an architect and he should probably go and it's the other way around. He wanted to become a fine artist.
Yes.
And they told him that his art wasn't fine enough, his technique wasn't good enough, and that he should become an architect.
Hmm.
It's one of those very niche courses that used to be a real thing. You apprenticed as an artist and learn how to paint and everything. By the way, the guy I'm talking about is Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, he later painted a masterpiece by almost destroying the world.
Not the world. It's just a big chunk of Europe.
A big-
Everybody
well,
exaggerates that shit. It wasn't the whole world. Stop it. It's a big chunk
Came
of
this close.
big chunk of Europe, not the world.
All right. Well, we could go on and on about this, but
Anyway.
if he made a few other decisions, it'd have been bad.
Anyway,
All right. Let's move on. I'm sorry.
you used to apprentice as an artist. I mean,
Uh-huh.
look at the sculptures from Greece. The anatomy on those things is amazing. There's I think he's Spanish in modern times, who sculpted a woman wearing a veil from marble. And it looks like she's wearing a veil, but it's made of stone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not, you don't need a degree in that performing arts. You know,
Yeah. Again, we already talked about this
Yeah.
bullshit.
The anthropology,
Archaeology.
archaeology, again,
We
same
already
thing.
covered that. Ethnic studies. Here we go.
What do you need a degree in ethnic studies for? What
So
is
you
that?
can divide more people based on
It's-
ethnicity.
Communist ideology. It is race war 101. This is designed to
Divide.
divide people.
Correct.
That's exactly what it's for. It's designed to make everybody not like each other. Journalists, it's my personal opinion that every modern journalist today, with maybe a tiny handful of exceptions, should be placed against the wall and then fed to the crows. That's my personal opinion.
It's a waste because the crows won't be able to eat them all.
You don't need a degree to be a journalist, though.
No, you don't. I do it. We're doing it right now.
Yeah.
I have a degree in journalism.
Uh-huh.
I can barely write. I'm a dyslexicist.
I'm very good at writing.
I know. That's why you edit my shit.
That is why I edit your shit. That's exactly why I edit your shit.
Now-
Philosophy, a degree in philosophy, we covered that. It's a
Well,
niche
you can
thing.
get a degree in philosophy if you want to become a professor, but those are very few and far between.
Yeah,
Like Jordan Peterson.
sure, exactly. What I'm saying is it's a niche
Yes,
thing.
very neat.
There are elements of philosophy that you should learn. There are lessons from philosophy that should be taught, but they should be taught starting around junior high.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a degree in philosophy later on in life, if you're that one kid who really seriously wants to study the hell out of Socrates, okay. But everybody does not need this.
Nope. Oh my God. This is a huge waste right here. Again, this is a luxury kind of thing. Travel and tourism, that happens when the economy is doing well, people are gainfully employed, taxes and inflation are not out of control, people have money to do this kind of shit. When that shit goes away, so does that profession.
Yeah.
Straight up.
It's just a ridiculous thing. A degree in advertising, I'm going to say, is a load of crap. You don't need a degree for advertising. Advertising is the knowledge of how people think and applying that knowledge of how people think to get them to buy
Your shit.
thing X.
Yes.
You don't need a degree to run Photoshop or to be, edit a logo or anything like that.
No, you can figure it out.
More so, if you want to see some really good advertising, go to the United Kingdom and go anywhere near a gypsy. They are absolute masters at advertising. They will get you to buy shit you didn't even know existed, let alone you didn't know you didn't need.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have educations. They don't go to school, but they know advertising.
They have experience.
Yes. International studies.
Yeah.
What is international studies? Can you even define that?
Yeah. This is another degree that I had a lot of OCS, soon to be officers, had degrees in this, and it's absolute horseshit.
I know what it is. International studies is one of those degrees that at the big universities, they're geared to funnel a certain sector of the population into the State Department,
Mm-hmm.
the Diplomatic Corps, and the Peace Corps. International studies is one of those litmus tests that they use to harvest the people that they want to bring into their fold who aren't already the elites or the kids from the wealthy families that they
Yes.
know are going to be in there. This is where they select from the masses ideal candidates, is through this international studies program. And I've seen it.
Yeah, firsthand.
Film and video production. Ask Blake. You don't really need a degree in that to be really
No.
good at it.
He figured it out on his own.
Yeah. Criminal justice,
All right.
arguable.
No.
Come-
I was going to get a degree in criminal justice.
Mhm.
And one of my professors pulled me aside and said, listen, if you get a degree in criminal justice, all you can do is criminal justice. But if you get a degree in anything else, you can still do a profession in criminal justice.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely worthless, in my opinion.
Okay. I could just see it being useful in somebody who wants to go into law enforcement at a higher
You
level.
learn all that in the academy.
The beat cop, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They beat that shit into you.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And they do it at the local, like say you go to Detroit.
Yeah.
You learn all of the ordinances of Detroit, the state laws, and all the other horse shit. You can't get that at a 4-year degree Joe Blow fucking place.
Okay. I did not know that.
All right.
I can't go near the cop or firefighter worlds because I have buttons
Yes.
that I know that I have because of a couple of incidents overseas where
Yeah.
certain things happened.
And people will get smoked.
I at one point was pulled to the ground by a couple of guys.
Yeah.
Because I was about to be bad and do things
What you want?
because something happened.
Send somebody to the lobby?
Send somebody to the lobby. God, computer sciences. But yeah, I know that I have those buttons.
All right. Now, first, I kind of think that computer science actually is a valid kind of degree because
it's a subset of advanced mathematics, frankly, because all computer is ones and zeros
correct
at the end of the
on
day.
and off.
But the scripters and the hacker kids and all of those, none of them have degrees. I have never met a programmer worth a damn that had a degree.
You can actually go on the dark web and purchase packages to learn how to hack. You pay for it in Bitcoin.
I was analog, dude.
Yeah.
When I was SIGINT, I was analog. We had computers, yes, but none of the stuff that we did, anything that came in just as I was getting out.
No, because I know this because I was actually going to write a small little book on hackers when I was married, and they got pissed off and destroyed a whole fucking system. So I don't know how they did it. I could not format out of it. I had to throw the whole fucking thing away. It was unbelievable. They fucked me hard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's another one that, like international studies, is used to select and groom. And you and I know a great deal about this one in particular. Child and family studies.
Yeah, this
is where the people from Child Protective Services,
CPS, I was just going to say that.
come from.
Yep.
This is the generator for that. Child and family studies is about how to study the family in order to properly dismantle it and make the maximum profit off of those children and fathers. That's what Child and Family Studies is for.
Yep. I can't argue with that.
It's a grooming course.
Well, first of all, I am not a fan of CPS. Now, do I think that they have an actual purpose? In some instances, yes. Most of the time, they flex muscles on people over bullshit that doesn't need to, be made into a big deal. Like
you and I both been through the process,
Yeah.
dude. They don't just flex muscles; they deliberately stomp on your damn neck.
Yeah, they did. When they literally destroyed. It took my kids from me and destroyed my life.
Yep.
I mean, I will never be the same.
Yep. Yeah, they go out of their way to destroy you and profit from you.
Correct.
I don't see any use at that's. I believe the Child and Family Studies program is the funnel, just like international studies is the funnel for the State Department.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Not going to argue with you.
Let's see here. Remember to share the tab, Steve. People who studied useless majors are sharing what they do now, and it's really a mixed bag. I got a master's degree in theater arts. My entire family thought it was stupid and said it was wasting my time and money. After college, they joked about how I was going to work at Walmart. Now I live in New York City, landed a job on Broadway, and make more than my brother does with his business degree. You have no idea how lucky you are.
Correct.
Because for every one of you, there are 7,000 others who are working at Walmart.
Or Starbucks.
Or Starbucks.
Yeah.
When I lived out in LA and worked at the law firm, that had half of it was corporate, half of it was Hollywood, the number of waiters and waitresses who were aspiring actresses was in the restaurants in Santa Monica and Malibu and Hollywood there.
Right around 95%.
I came here to be an actress.
Yeah.
I'd like a side of I'd like a side of ranch with that, please.
Yeah, extra crispy fries, please.
We recently asked the members of the BuzzFeed community who studied college majors people typically think are useless to tell us what they now do for work. Let's have a look. Here are some of the most eye-opening responses. I went to 2 culinary schools. I love to cook, so I thought I would turn it into a job. Worst decision ever. Working in the restaurant industry, you have no life and make no money. This is for the most part true. It's hard on my body, was always working, couldn't get a job at any nice place. It was the Cracker Barrel or a crappy barbecue joint where you get food poisoning from. I always had 2 jobs. The most I ever made was $36K a year. I made that as an expediter in a window at a hotel in 1990.
Wow, that's good money back then.
It was really good money. Went back to go to school twice. So there's the culinary degree thing. Majored in creative writing and was constantly told that I wouldn't find work as a writer. Throughout my 20s, people would ask what I majored in college and immediately would follow, I bet that's not what you do now, except it was. Found a job as a magazine contributor immediately after college and worked as a writer for years before transition. Again, this
Lucky.
one person, 7,000 behind him. How does credentialism apply to this? In many of these cases, these people who have these degrees, they'll see the degree and say, okay, and it's still only 1 out of every 7,000.
Because there's not enough slots.
Like the guy with the degree in culinary arts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the chef of 40 years who didn't have a degree couldn't get hired, but this guy who had 2 degrees in culinary arts couldn't get hired. They pulled what you mentioned at the beginning of the show. Well, you have the degree, but I'm afraid you just don't have the experience.
The 3-show Monty.
They didn't like you.
Yeah.
Period. They don't like you. It's credentialism, and they use that as a tool to select who they want. Majored in theater and acting. I knew very early on that if I wanted to work in theater, I would need to learn as much as I could about all aspects of theater in order to stay working in it. I can proudly say that every penny I've made working since I graduated from college has been in theater and the arts. This is like 1 out of every 100,000 people who do this.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of people just kind of stumble into acting because they look a certain way or they have certain mannerisms, things you can't really be taught in school.
Arlie Ermy is one of the most obvious examples of that. He was on the set as an advisor
in Apocalypse Now.
And it wasn't Apocalypse Now. It was Full Metal Jacket.
No, but he was also the same thing in Apocalypse Now.
Really?
Yeah, he's a chopper pilot in Apocalypse Now.
The one that got him hired, though, was Full Metal Jacket.
Yep.
As that figure, the drill sergeant.
Oh, the drill sergeant, yeah.
He was there as an advisor.
Because he did that for real in the Marine Corps.
The guy who was hired, the actor who was hired to play the part of the drill sergeant, couldn't get it right. And the director finally said, "Can you do this?" And he's like, "Well, yeah.
I did it for a living."
And now he's the most legendary drill sergeant in film.
Yep. And the majority of his lines he ad-libbed.
Yes.
Which was even more amazing.
Jimmy, that's an experience you never got to savor.
Some of the shit they say it's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Like Lily, you're staying at attention and they say some shit. You're like,
yeah.
Are you fucking laughing?
Yeah.
No, sir.
As
I used to just fall out. I'd be like,
we had a guy screwing around on a range with a rifle one day. I'm sitting there with some of the other range cadre. We're all NCOs. And Pop, of course, knows that. I'm just reminding our gentle listeners out there. This guy's screwing around with his rifle. I go, "Hey, apple ass, drag your dusty scrotum over here. And my buddy's like, yeah, please. You just start to pick these things up out of nowhere.
Yeah. Quit thumbjacking your shit box.
I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Fashion Design from the only public art school in the United States. Yeah, it's a public art school. Okay. And I've been working as an apparel designer for a national specialty retailer for the past 6 years. I have no regrets. Again, you did it correctly, went to the art school, and your credentials somehow got you noticed. I guarantee you this individual knew somebody who knew somebody who got her a mention.
7,000 other people who got that degree who are not working in that field.
That is correct. I went to undergraduate for criminal justice and shifted in combination of criminal justice and psychology. I didn't get into law school, so I went to graduate school for forensic mental health. Well, the degree sounds cool. There isn't much you can do with that makes it fully applicable. Most high-level mental health-related positions within police forces either demand tons of experience or are occupied by people who never leave.
That actually,
again, with the credentialism.
Yep. But you run into that problem. If you go into a field where a lot of people stay till they're real old, you're probably going to have a hard time getting your foot in the door in the beginning.
Yeah.
A librarian.
That's really true.
Librarian is big on that one.
Yes.
Those guys get into a library. They never fucking leave.
Never leave.
Until they're like 65 to 67. They force them out.
Yeah. Want to know something crazy?
Huh.
I am currently being considered for library director in my county.
Wow. Yeah, we know that guy, Randy.
Mm-hmm.
He had a degree as library.
He had a hard time getting into libraries.
He worked in that field for like 3 or 4 years, and he's like 60 now.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the time, he just couldn't find work.
Yeah,
because he's the wrong color, wrong sex, what have you.
And he kept staying in areas where that was going to be a detriment instead of moving to an area where it might be an asset.
Correct. Let's get done ripping on him, but
we're not ripping on him. It's true.
It is true.
I'm sorry. Guess what? These were things that happened.
Correct.
Bells that cannot be unrung. So overall, is college worth it? Consider these factors before enrolling. It really depends these days. Most of it, again, is credentialism, which is what we've been talking about all night. Now, for decades in the U.S., 4-year degree was seen as a ticket to a better life associated with higher wages, better health, and access to home ownership, to name a few benefits, but rising costs, student debt, changing job requirements in some industries, new higher education alternatives have altered the equation, leaving many high schoolers and their parents wondering whether college is worth it. I don't think it is anymore.
It's not worth it anymore. All right. It's very common for people to get out of with a 4-year degree with some bullshit fucking, subject matter. They will never find a job. They're saddled with debt. And guess what? Once that debt gets over $30,000, it's the equivalent of a second mortgage on your life.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people out there who are now in their 60s who have never been able to pay off their college debt from back in the day.
Yep.
Don't be that motherfucker.
Yep.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. These credentials are also used as weapons by the people who control the industries, the government, education, the medical community, everything. If you don't have the right credentials and know the right people and slob the correct knobs, you're not getting anywhere near any of this stuff. And then they use it as a bludgeon when you try to challenge them. Dr. Fauci was probably the best example of that. He literally stood on camera and said, if you challenge me, you're challenging science.
Yeah, what a fucking arrogant prick.
That was an astounding example of hubristic credentialism.
Yep.
Claiming that just because he was who he was with his degree and his doctor title, that he was literally science and that you could not challenge him. Did you know Dr. Fauci has never been anything but a bureaucrat?
Yeah, he's
done nothing.
No patience.
Nope.
He's done nothing but steal other people's work.
Yes.
And patent it to make money.
Yes.
Well, if you take in the experiments that he did with beagle puppies, that they surgically removed their vocal cords so we wouldn't hear them yelp when their faces were getting eaten alive by fleas.
Yes.
Would you consider those patients?
Not
No.
really.
I'm sorry. The people are saying he needs to be put in prison. He needs to be put under
careful.
prison.
Yes.
Maybe perhaps we can arrange, if he's tried for treason, extreme chiropractic if he's convicted by a jury, and that's the penalty.
And then
let Sandfleas eat his face.
Nah, I'm not doing that unhumane shit to anybody.
it's as long as whatever happens to him, we have just a pack of beagle puppies come over and piss and shit all over his useless corpse. After all that's said and done, just so that I can feel that I've gotten some retribution.
So I love dogs, but guess what? People are going to do scientific experiments on animals.
No, there was no reason for that. Anyway, Fauci's statements are an example of something that you need to know and understand.
It's
so that you could recognize
gatekeeper credentialism.
That is gatekeeper credentialism. It is also what's called argument from authority, where somebody says, you must listen to me simply because I have a degree. Now,
that is very common for the left to say that.
Yes. And the other version of that is argument to authority, appeal to authority, and we saw tons of this during the lockdowns, where you'd say to somebody, why are you wearing that mask? It doesn't help you. I'll trust the doctors. You don't know anything. You don't have a medical degree. They're appealing to authority, claiming that you can't possibly know anything because you don't have the credentials of somebody that they saw on TV.
But you have the ability to read an actual scientific study that has been done on masks, and you can say, well, I've got such and such studies that say this doesn't work.
Or you might have dozens and dozens of hours wearing protective gear and standing in actual gas.
Yeah, that sucks.
Or you could just take the simple route and look on the side of the freaking box of the plastic paper surgical masks.
Yeah.
They literally said, will not and does not help protect from COVID. That's exactly what they said on the box. Trust me, I had a box of those masks at work. They said, oh, you got to wear them. I'm like, I'm not fucking wearing that thing.
Yep.
I'm not fucking wearing it.
Box that it doesn't work. Wear it. The scientists said so.
Well, when it came to the mask thing, when it was going on, I usually would have it hanging off one of my ears. And they'd be, hey, you need to put your mask on. Okay. And as soon as they turn away, I pull it down under my chin and continue doing what I'm doing.
Yep. I think
what?
I was going to say, I think the first time when that whole thing first kicked off, I was like, okay, I was one of the people. This may be concerning. I will do what the experts say, and I'm putting experts in quotations. I think I wore a mask probably 4 times.
Yep.
So I recognized it for what it was right away because we go through extensive chem training. And my first unit, 2nd Infantry, the commanding officer of the time, if you were training, you were going to get gassed.
Correct.
So I had tons of time with that stuff. I knew right away that the masks were stupid. So I sat down at my dining room table and I actually sewed a mask from cheesecloth and butcher's twine.
Nice.
And left the little let my people go threads on the side, like the Orthodox Jews wear on their belts.
Yeah.
And I would wear this literally cheesecloth mask. I wore it into the sheriff's department at one point. I wore it into a couple of pharmacies. I wore it into a hospital.
Yeah.
And nobody ever challenged me a single time. And that was such a concrete demonstration of how stupid the entire thing was, because it was clearly and obviously cheesecloth.
Correct.
It was unambiguously, this guy is wearing a cheesecloth on his face with some butcher's twine.
You actually showed me that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, that, and then we had, who was it? One of those quote unquote famous celebrities literally had a crocheted mask on her face.
I forget who that was, but yeah, I remember.
Was it like Chrissy Teigen, or
I think it was Chrissy Teigen.
It was one of those complete batshit insane women on there. Like, I'm doing my part. Oh, bitch, I can see your gap tooth through your mask.
Jimmy, do you know how rare completely batshit insane women in Hollywood are?
They're all fucking crazy.
I think I met one normal one. And she was just disgusted with all the rest of them.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think I met one normal female in Hollywood when I worked out.
But here's another thing we need to realize. If somebody sits there and tells you, trust the science, Tell them to fuck off, because the science always changes, especially if they're like, well, the consensus is. It doesn't matter. If 1,000 people think it's correct and it's not, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Well, there is one state, I can't remember which one it is. They are taking Pfizer to court.
Yeah, I just read that today.
Because it was safe and effective and it stopped transmission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we all know how that went.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a special place in my heart for those people. And it's not actually in my heart. It's on government land, and it involves a shovel.
Mm.
And there may or may not be endangered plants planted above them, so they can't be ever dug up.
We need to stop talking like this, gentlemen.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, I got you.
Have any comments on that?
Allegedly.
But, listen, when enough people die, you're going to get mob justice. And let's just leave it at that. And
that's just reality. That's been shown over and over and over.
Yeah, throughout history. That's absolutely correct.
So we can say that all day long.
But what we're trying to get to, gentlemen, is simply this. All right. When you're out and about adulting, trying to get by in life, you're going to run into this. And it's better that you know it up front, what's happening to you, than being all upset and butthurt thinking one of 1,000 different excuses why shit went south for you. This is why it's not working out for you. There's some asshat somewhere holding you back or holding the gate shut, not letting you through because of you didn't have this, you didn't have that. It's either you have the credentials or you have the experience. It's a 3-shell Monty game to keep you in the unemployment line.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Learn to recognize credentialism when it's being employed.
Correct. And human resources is really big at doing this.
Oh, that's all human resources does is engage in credentialism.
Correct.
That's all they care about. It's the most useless field I've ever seen in my life.
How I got into Chase Manhattan is I had a 4-year degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down and I went through the interview process. The last question was like, do you have a 4-year degree? I'm like, yes, I do. Here's a copy of my diploma, and here's a printout of all my classes. That's what got me in the door. Not the fact that I had 5 years doing mortgages.
Yeah.
Like literally, yep. I had a whole 5 years of doing mortgages, and some of them I started from scratch. I made a lot of money doing it, but then I went to Chase Manhattan, and I could not get in unless I had a 4-year degree.
Credentialism.
It's exactly what that was.
Yep. There you have it. We are at a point
for super chats.
I think we're right around that area right there.
Yeah. So Jimmy, let's serve up some super chats.
Serve up the super chats, Jimmy.
Jump over here to YouTube here real quick. We'll start off there. Got 489 there. Excuse me. And 286 likes.
We need more likes, gentlemen.
Smash the like button for us, please. It's free.
You know what I'm shocked about?
What's that?
Is we have 15 feminists or male feminists or women who hate my guts who usually downvote everything I do.
Okay.
And it's not happening yet, but it will after the fact. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Pop, you know what else is shocking?
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no swear. Stop!
Contact right, respond to fire.
And just with that, we got 477 viewers and 319 likes.
All right.
325. We just jumped 6 likes with that one. Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I love it.
All right, let's see here. We got Sean St. George here with 2 499s in a row. First one, funny how the biggest complainers of climate have property on or close to the ocean.
Yes.
Correct. Martha's Vineyard.
Mm-hmm.
If
it's an island, Martha's Vineyard's an island.
If the sea goes up 2 feet, that thing is gone.
Yeah.
But
you know what?
It has not ever.
Yes, ever.
I just want to be happy enough in my life to be on par with when all the illegals were kicked off of Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
Remember how happy those people were? Clapping and cheering along.
Yeah.
Bastards. And don't even get me started on Mark Cuban because that dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. 3 planes, 6 mansions, and all these other things, and said, I'm not going to vote for anyone that doesn't believe in climate change.
Pro tip: his last name really isn't Cuban, but I won't say any more
No.
about that.
I believe I know that story. Let's see here. And Sean's next super chat here. The education industrial complex is one of the most corrupt.
Yes.
I'm not. Yeah, that whole tenure thing. The teacher sticks around till he gets tenure, and he literally can do whatever he wants. You can't fire him.
Tenure served a purpose when universities were still universities. They're not universities
No, they're
anymore.
not.
They're indoctrination centers.
Correct.
Well, that, and then when you have all these board of educations, kicking parents out and threatening arrests when they're reading literature in
From the
quotations
classes.
from the classes, but it's not appropriate during these meetings. So why is it in our fucking schools?
Yeah.
Correct.
Tenure was for guys like Tolkien or John Keegan from Sandhurst University, who really were the experts in their subject. And you wanted that old dude to stick around, so you gave him what he wanted because he really knew what he was doing. That's what tenure was for.
Yep. I'm not going to say you're wrong, but
Let's see. Next one we got Ghoulie1234 with $10 says, "Keep it going."
We shall.
we're trying. We're trying.
Absolutely. Jackson Whittier with $15 says, "College is BS. The tragedy." Oh, excuse me. A little burpy. Tragedy is where it's at. I'm 22 and my high school tried to push that any degree is a good degree on us, and no one bought into it. Now I'm 31 and now I make 31 an hour as a truck driver.
All right.
That'll do.
That'll do it.
It would be an honor for me to work on your truck there, good sir, as a mechanic myself. See, Sean St. George come back here with 2 in a row again. Says, first one is there's only one race, the human race.
Okay.
I can agree with that one. Let's see. And his second one here, $4.99, he says, my favorite drill sergeant saying, "Shut your cack holster, you."
Yeah, I was fond of that one.
That was very, very common. Shut your goddamn cock holster. I don't want to hear filth coming out of your fourth point of contact, which is your face.
Or shut your cake masher.
Yeah, there you go.
Was a big one too. Yeah.
Cake mash. Nice. Let's see. We'll jump over here to Rumble, and we're going to start it off with Mando's first one. Your favorite person tonight, Steve.
Oh, no.
It says, how to identify the expert in the room. You find the person who knows more and more about less and less until you find the person who knows everything about nothing. See Fauci for an example.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. And we'll scroll past his math super chat there because we don't want, don't want to hurt the Battledorf's brain.
What happened?
That was the 1 + 2 divided by 3.
Yeah, right.
Multiplied by the X's.
Answer's 5.
Sorry. Let's see.
That's okay.
We just had one come in from Lude, $5 Canadian. He says, "Cheers from Montreal. Montreal, please help us."
Well, if I ever run the show, I'll be leading the charge to invade Canada to take your beer and then replace your government because they're idiots.
Beer first, government later.
Mm-hmm.
I like your
I
priorities.
want to kill anyone. I just want your beer.
Taken over by an underwear model, man. Come on, Canada. Do better. I mean, you can't even get a good dictator. You got a fucking fairy.
Wow.
I wonder what the odds of him and Zelensky ever did in underwear modeling it was.
Imagery that I do not want in my head.
Please.
Do not want anything near that in my head.
Move along.
You're welcome. Let's see. Mando coming back again. He says, "In my home state, I could not get a job in EMS when I was a reserve medic. And when I retired out, I cannot get a job in hazmat after 11 years as a chemical soldier.
Yeah.
Who could do CDMs in my head?"
Yes.
Yep. That's very common. And in my opinion, we probably need to take some steps at the federal government level to allow the military training to cross the fucking boundary to be used in the civilian world.
It's a direct comparison.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely a direct comparison.
It is. And here's the funny thing is we have a whole bunch of military pilots, but very few of them can actually work as civilian pilots.
They have to go through the entire. I was reading an
It's
article
so
on that
stupid.
before we started here,
Yeah.
seeing if I wanted to include that in here. The military pilots, it's easier for them to pass the courses, but they have to take the entire thing.
Mhm.
The FAA requires it. Again, it's credentialism.
We need to put a stop to this because
Yeah.
it's absolutely lunatic.
It's
ludicrous.
ridiculous.
Yep, I believe I remember reading that article when I was setting everything up, and that one is on the website redonkulas.com. Check out
Yeah.
the links and all that other stuff. Good.
I knew a radiographer from England. It's an X-ray tech. It's somebody who uses an X-ray machine to take X-ray pictures, who wanted to come over here, but the American requirement was that they retake the entire course to become a radiographer, and it was exactly the same course as the course in England, but America wouldn't recognize England's because reasons.
And vagina.
Just literally no reason at all. Same exact stuff. Anyway.
I had to throw that in there. I just
Sarku coming in here with $2 says, worked at 3 universities. You got it right, Pop and Battle Dwarf.
Yep.
Yep.
And guess what? I don't have a degree in ripping apart fucking degrees. I just got common sense.
There you go.
Superpower. Most people don't have it nowadays.
It's true.
Yep. See, Cliff 3188 coming in with $2. Companies are looking for people out of college, likely having significant debt, and will work as slaves. And then he has Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is the servant to the lender.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
True story.
Yeah. Let's see here. We'll keep scrolling down here.
All right, so let me put out a quick announcement.
Oh, go ahead.
All right. Blake is not going to be in on Thursday, but we're doing a paranormal pop. And I actually have an individual who spent almost 10 years in Afghanistan who's going to basically blow the whole Kandahar Giant story and sink it because it's an absolute fucking lie.
Really?
Yes.
You know what? I never heard the Kandahar Joint story.
I'll tell you after the show.
That's fine.
Yep. I've heard a few stories, but that's going to be a good one.
I'll be there.
All right.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. Mando coming back again. They are only doing the stupidity level education until they can lobotomize and make people into effective servitors.
That's correct.
That's exactly what
They're creating a drone class.
Yep. Well, if you ask me, I think we need to make loony bins great again.
I would agree with that.
Because there's a lot of things
A lot
going
of
on.
people I need to hang out there for a while.
I'm also strongly of the opinion that crows need to eat. So
Pigs.
too.
That too.
Crows can't eat all of the meat. They got to feed
I'm,
it.
I'm just saying the southern states are having quite the feral hog infestation. I'm just saying.
You know what? I actually want to do like a 5 or 6 day trip down there to shoot some hogs.
You know, you can do that here in the thumb, right?
No.
Yep.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah, except for down in Texas and Louisiana, they do it out of helicopters.
Yeah. Yes,
That's
they
a little
do.
That's a little more badass than I was actually thinking about.
Yeah,
trying to do that. So.
Yeah, time in helicopters, though.
It's not as
Not as exciting as
once
you
you've
might
done
think.
it enough times, like, God
Yeah.
damn, another
Yep.
helicopter.
Let's see. And Mando, he's coming back in and says I figured that would give me a fuck off. I believe it was a burn in a house fire is what you said allegedly in Minecraft.
Yeah, something like
that.
Let's see. Steve OUK jumping in here says, Pop, join me in singing the praises of Clep and Dante's. Credit by exam skips a lot of headache.
So he's talking about testing out. Well, some colleges you can't do that.
Testing out
A CLEP test.
Oh yeah, the CLEP tests.
Yeah.
I remember those.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's some colleges they won't let you do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
They want their
It is better to fail the CLEP test than pass the CLAP test.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's bad.
Because when you pass the CLAP test, you're in some trouble.
You're getting the shot pill and the harsh talk.
Crotch crickets.
Yep.
Let's see. Sarku is coming back again. He says Latin is used in everyday in law, the sciences, and by dominatrix around the world.
I wouldn't know about the dominatrix thing, but lawyers use it to weasel around shit.
Yep. The
It has
ad
its-
hominem and whatever.
We can agree to disagree there, Steve.
We'll agree to disagree.
Okay.
Yep.
We're still friends.
One more coming in over on YouTube. It says dollar cost backpacker for $5 says, you boys see the petrodollar not being acknowledged by the Saudis?
Yes.
Yes,
Saw that.
That's going to be bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be real bad.
Well, until we start drilling our own fucking oil and we don't need them.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Well, not under this current dictatorship.
Not under this regime, yeah.
No. Let's see. Jumping back to Rumble here. Got Pixels G Tau $5. What's poppin', boys? Giving us a salute.
All right.
Let's see here. Mando coming back in. When I had to cancel the date to babysit drunk fucks, not you, Jimmy. Okay, good. I used to make them watch either history documentaries or English Shakespeare.
Oh, okay.
They cock blocked me, so I fucked them with their minds.
Nice.
Nice. Yep. It's always a good night when I don't have to be babysat, but I babysit myself. See, Tantalum 180 coming in here with $2. Here I sit, so brokenhearted. I came to shit
And only farted.
Oh,
My uncles used to say that when I was little.
Let's see. Reynard 61. Plato. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Help me out
Spell
here.
the first three.
Thucydides. Thucydides. Thank you. The society that separates its warriors and its scholars will have its thinking done by cowards and its legions led by fools.
Yes,
Correct.
that is correct.
Yep. There you go. You guys putting in those fucking big ass words. I'm like,
yeah, you just
I'm like
knocked
pop, man.
groove out of the needle.
Tantalum 180 coming back in. Philosophers used to have a legitimate role advising and critiquing the ruling class.
Yes, that is
Yes, that's true.
Personally, I think at least a handful of them are sorely needed in modern day.
Yes. Yeah, I would have to agree.
Yep, I would agree as well. Let's see. Digital Dude coming in here. All chefs started as dish or utility culinary school is a waste of time and money. Yep. I started at 14 in the dish as a dish and was working on the line by 16. Worked all over only to do private dining now, $500 an hour.
Ooh,
nice. I need to get in on that.
Yeah,
damn, funny. I'm in the wrong gig.
Fuck yeah.
Good, buddy.
See, Pixels coming back again here. Cicero certs are okay. It's pure tech knowledge. It helped me switch work field with no higher education. Essentially, it's speed trade school.
Actually, that is going to come to an end, I think, because a lot of people have circumvented the whole college pipeline and did all of the Cisco certs and what have you to get to work in IT.
Yeah.
Well, at some point, they're going to like, well, we're missing out on all that money.
Yeah, that's true.
So corruption.
Or they just send the technology classes over to India and you get,
You know what? I literally don't do business with anyone that calls me with an Indian accent other than the people who, sell me prescription medications that I need.
Hello, this is Apu. Can you help me? Would you like to invest in my company? What are you selling, Apu? I am selling squishies and microwave burritos.
Nope.
Nope.
Not doing business with you.
Carry on.
Let's see. Mando coming back again. He says, Pop, you should sue. They're taking your, quote, ethnic anger scale.
I did a whole video on the ethnic anger scale. You should watch it.
I think I have watched that one. It was quite some time ago, though.
Yeah, I made that because I had a company commander who was Greek, and he would fly off the handle. I'd be like, "Why are we at 11? What you went from 3 to 11? What's going on? Let's dial it back to 6 here."
I worked for a Greek. I worked for a Greek chef at one point.
They just fly off the handle. You're
yes.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Completely lost in space.
I love the guy. He was a decent commander, good person. He just had to rope in that fucking anger.
Yeah.
There you go. See, I had a PC jump back over here on YouTube at $5. Says, never went to college, came out of the military, worked my way up. Now, plant manager wants to transfer me. Now my plant manager wants to transfer me into being a full-blown engineer.
All right.
There you go.
There you go,
See?
bro.
There-
That's how it's
that's how
done.
you do it.
Yep. Let's see. Reynard69 says, getting a certain Austrian historical figure into art class doesn't stop World War II.
Probably there'd be another guy.
That'd be-
Somebody
yeah,
else would
Somebody
show
else
up.
would figure it out.
Yep. You'd need to prevent or completely rewrite the Treaty of Versailles and hop back 80 years more to unalive Marx, Eagles, and mooks who inspired him.
Listen,
A guy named Theodore Herzl is the one you really want to be.
but here's the thing.
Of.
Even if you whack those guys, the idea would still come about. There'd be somebody
Somehow.
else.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to kill ideas. It just doesn't happen.
Yep. Let's see. LB Weaver coming back in $5 says, I wouldn't want to work in tourism anyway because I can't stand any job that involves the public.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I'm not a
understand.
big people fan myself.
Well, it's 'cause
As
it's just stupidity.
as someone that has worked at a truck stop on one of the busiest interstates in BFE, Nebraska, yeah, I can agree with that. That is why my people person meter is on like a 1.5 when I'm feeling good. Jesus. See, Alucard 1776 coming back says Saudi Arabia has terminated the petrodollar agreement. Yay!
There you go.
We'll see what happens.
Yep. But don't worry, we'll be just dumping our reserves into the public to help stave off the price at the pump.
With the stupid
Price of gas-
intensified.
Price of gas has not changed within probably 6 or 7 months, and it's been $3.15 a gallon in my area.
We're hovering between 315 and 365.
Correct.
Yep.
We go back and forth.
Yeah, I just paid $3.49 a gallon.
Yeah, the diesel price at the truck stop that I pass every day going to work is $3.69. I want to say nice, but it's not nice.
No. All right, next one. Let's go.
Let's Mega Blister 22 with $20 says Ermi was an advisor on a lot of films and acted in several more during the 80s before he got into Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
But he started off.
I think that's the breakout one.
he was a pilot in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, he was. Let's see. Mega Blister coming back again. It says Boys of Company C was Ermi's first big role as a DI.
Oh, there you
That
go.
was a good one.
That is right. That is right.
Fireplace
was-
Gloria was good too.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he was. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen that movie, but yeah, he was young in that movie.
Yep.
All right, let's see here. What else do we got here on Rumble here? LB Weaver coming in says, "Pop, I remember walking into a record shop wearing the stupid mask, but I have a small nose. And the mask was right under my nostrils. I heard, put your mask up over your nose, please." I remember getting yelled at the Walmart greeter for walking in the exit door and was told to turn around and go out the exit door and come back in the entrance.
Yeah,
I looked at him like they were a dumbass retard and fucking went in, got my shit, and got the fuck out. And that's the last time I've ever set foot in Walmart.
That's exactly what I would do. I'd be like, oh yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll get right on that.
Oh,
Let's see. Mando coming back in. Modern dating is just women making sure normal men have the credentials to raise their Chad fornication trophies. Change my mind.
He's not wrong.
I don't believe you are incorrect on any of that statement there, good sir.
In the current year, you can buy poon with cash. That's
Yep.
all it is now.
Let's see. Alucard 1776 coming back in. It says, Pop befriended a dog man.
Well, I do have 30 acres up north, but I have not run across any dog men, and nor do I want to come across any of that shit.
what dogman? What are we talking here? Dogman.
It's in Michigan. Instead of Bigfoot, it's a dog man, like a large walking humanoid wolf thing.
Lucaru. My uncles used to tell stories about the Lukuru all the time.
Yep. Apparently, they're in Michigan.
Yeah. There were some living on the peninsula across from my uncle's
I don't
cabin.
want to know nothing about it.
When I was a kid, they'd tell stories of you're sitting there at the fire going,
Yep. Fuck that.
that's Lukuru.
Skinwalkers, man. See, Professor Blake Pooh Ass Blaster 3000 coming in says, I hate this BS stuff. I need to get into the trade of an electrician.
Electricians make good money.
They make good money.
They do. That they do. But, well, this doesn't make good money.
God,
That's twice you've blindsided us.
I
tonight,
fucking
Jimmy.
hate that one, man.
See, that's
twice
that's what I like. That's what I like about this
Dick,
because
man.
it's not me, man. It's got to give the people what
Yeah,
they
but
ask
there's
for.
like no warning. It's just like there in your face all of a sudden. That's you're blindsiding us, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, it's funny though. I love watching your guys' reactions because no one else can see them but me. It's fucking hilarious.
See, there's a lot of cringing going on behind
Ugh,
the
I-
topic.
See, Barrett McMusing coming in with $5 says, "Don't forget it's Juneteenth tomorrow, my crackers.
Don't
Time to
care.
reflect on the contributions of the Afro Americans and shit."
Oh my God. Juneteenth celebrates a bunch of people in a town in Texas finding out that they had been emancipated 2.5 years after the fact.
Did
So-
you guys happen to see the menu on one Air Force base? I believe it is that they're going to be serving tomorrow night.
No, I've not seen that.
Fried chicken, waffles, grits, greens. I mean, comfort food, but they're doing the stereotypical stuff.
No,
So-
that's actually fairly. They have southern food in the military bases. You just have to eat it once in a while. That's just how.
No, I'll go eat soul food at Steve's Soul Food down in Detroit. There's nothing wrong with that. It's mac and
yeah.
cheese, greens, it's fried catfish,
Yeah,
it's pork chops, smothered pork chops. I'm eating that.
it's not a big deal.
I don't care.
Oh yeah, I'm eating that all day long. But it's the
Yeah.
stupid people that oh my god,
When you have to add race to it, you're just a faggot.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just it's Southern food.
Can we make that into a bumper sticker?
Primarily with the African American community.
Can we make that into a bumper sticker? If you make it about race, you're a British cigarette.
Yeah, that's fine.
That'd be great. Let's see. Professor Blake Pooh Ass Blaster coming back in. He says, I think a two-way rifle range will happen. Also, did you hear about the draft 18 to 26 now?
Of course, I.
And women have been added to the draft.
Matter of
Sorry.
time. They fucking go off.
Yep. Let's see. I got a Tomahawk here with $5. Says, just got here. Looks like I'll have to watch the replay. Have a fiver, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Senior Airman Dick Fitz. Well, it's not a donation, but he had to put a jab in him. He says, Jimmy is good at pushing buttons. He can't read aloud. No, I can't. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people where I have to read. I got to like drag my scroller across just so I'm making sure. I'm one of those kind of
You're
people.
getting better, bro. Don't worry
I
about it.
cheat in that I had a lot of experience briefing officers from PowerPoint slides.
Same here.
So
That
carry
is what it is. That was a good burn. I can take a good burn.
That's fair.
Steel Wolf 180. Let's see, $20. Hello, this is Rexcon Wolf from Singapore. Tech has always been credentialism focused with all kinds of BS, especially if you plan to go big tech or some other famous company.
I understand that is true. Credentialism is key in those big tech companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that to be true.
Yep.
Singapore.
Yep.
Nice.
We're all over
There
the
you go.
world.
See, Single for Life coming in with $1. He says, I prefer the company of animals. Please play the Blue Dildo of Doom.
Blue dildo of doom.
He said
He said doom.
Doom.
Nice.
Let's see. It says next one we got Mega Blister 22, $10. Says, hey Bones, greeting from David City, Nebraska. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fellow Cornhusker in the house. Right on, right
Yep.
on. See, Reynard 69, Dwarf. Would you mind explaining why Hersey? All Wikipedia said. All Wikipedia says that he's a pillar of early Zionism. If anything, giving him a bit more support would mean they can't use Holocaust guilt. I'm curious.
So Wikipedia is not going to be a good source, but Theodore Herzl could be an entire show all by himself. Find a book called Conquest Through Immigration, written in 1968 by a man named George Robnett. It explains the entire thing extremely well. Herzl is a key figure in all of the crap swirling around what's going on right now in the Levant.
So you mean he's just one of the previous puppet masters of the shit show going on?
It's a lot deeper than that. Like I said, I could do an entire show just on
Yeah,
Herzl.
we can't get into it. It's already 10 o'clock.
Not,
And Mando is asking for one video to close out on. I'm not sure if he's going to be loved or hated.
bro.
I know I'm going to love it because I'm going to get your guys' reactions. Okay, let's get Pelosi off the screen there.
I got an announcement here. I got a guy in the email here wants MGTOW Mando to send an email to redonkulas12gmail.com. I'm going to forward you this email. It's for you.
Alrighty, there you go, Mando. So get on that. Send an email.
Okay.
See, and actually, we didn't do a head count over on Rumble. We got 772 over there.
Not bad.
Jump over to MGTOW, where I'm pretty sure the chat is doing bad. The chat is definitely doing MGTOW things.
Yep.
Definitely doing that over there. Excellent. Got 12 viewers over there. Let's see, Crazy Uncle with $10. When it comes to those that demand a certification or a degree, I always remember to use this phrase. Education does not equal intelligence. For Grit Speed, use this phrase. 30-pound brain is not and not an ounce of common sense.
Common sense is a superpower now. It's so rare.
Yeah. Common sense is not so common.
We
See,
get Rumble too.
oh, over on Rumble here. All right, let me bring up the chat here. I got it popped out here. All right, let's see here. Mega Blister again says he says $10. Got out of the Corps infantry in '97. Went to welding school. Worked on piping all over the country. Got in with a good outfit in '04, and now I'm project manager over 150K a year at
Sweet.
college.
Not bad.
Winning. Fuck yeah. So in other words, you're laying pipe all across the country?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Phrasing.
Crazy.
Crazy. See, Mark Mad Dog 21 over on MGTOW. He's got a couple more in a row. Battle Dwarf. I have a phone from someone else, not a Fed, just a random woman from a friend. Sure.
Yeah.
How do I make it untraceable? Like a Faraday cage or something? Make a box, tape copper around it, and aluminum tape in 2 layers with aluminum food can casing.
Wait. I'm not sure what.
He wants to mask the phone from detection. So you need a Faraday cage.
Yeah, but what's the purpose of masking the phone from detection?
I don't. If
I need
listen,
more information than that.
If you
Yeah,
want,
well-
you can buy Faraday bags on Amazon. They're not that expensive. The only problem you're going to run into is 5G is a little harder to block. You might have to read the fine print to find one that'll cover that as well.
Yeah.
Yep. He continues here. I don't want to feed the data banks on me since my entire internet presence is hate speech, and I don't want to want to be geolocated. And I know networks and routers have an IP that can be traced to your phone / anything that is near it.
Oh, you're worrying way too much, and I've mentioned this several times. Yes, they can trace just about anything, but you have to pop up on their radar.
Yeah, you got to be a super bad boy to show up.
Yeah, or you have to have backgrounds like Pop and I have for them to show up.
Or just be a nurse at a certain hospital in Texas about, leaking documents about a certain thing that happened.
Yeah.
Then you'll have the feds show up. Yep. Let's see. Battle. No, not Battle Dwarf, but Dark Mad Dog. He's got two more in a row here. It says Battle Dwarf Babylon episode when? Can I guess the video? Is it the Kabbalah? Is it the people running Babylon? The people kicked out from Babylon? Well, Pop and Battle Dwarf, it looks like Russia is arming all anti-Western nations. This reminds me of the fall of Babylon, where all surrounding nations exterminated the Babylonians, including the immigrants and the children and babies because of Moloch worship. It sucks, but it is what it is. Hopefully Russia wins so we avoid Soviet 2.0.
Well, we'll see what happens.
That's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
We're due for a big war, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see what happens after old Putin's visit to North Korea, because that happened.
Okay, I need to do a North Korea episode. Okay, look, North Korea. Imagine a dog that's got teeth and barks and can bite. Now, imagine that dog is a 3-legged, 17-year-old Chihuahua with one eye missing in a cardboard box. If you keep your hand out of the box, you're going to be fine.
I'm guessing the 17-year-old 3-legged Chihuahua with one tooth is North Korea.
Yes.
Okay.
North Korea is not.
They're not doing shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that and I'm like, oh, great. Here we go. This is going to fucking get blown out of hand.
Yep. Anyway.
Dark Mad Dog's last one here. Battle Dwarf, you're right on being stupider. I'm planning on making a steam bike. I researched the latest development on the steam cars, the double steam car. That was extremely complex, a lot more complex than internal combustion cars and electric cars. I mean, look at Jay Leno double steam car videos. Nobody would build it today, and calculations were researched and made by hand 100 years ago. We truly live in the second Soviet era. Another super chat coming.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All righty.
Story.
See, Iron Riddle coming in $5 says, fuck, I'm dyslexic. I just made a super chat to last week's cast. Purple crayon, purple crayon, purple crayon.
Oh, my Lord.
Dark Mad Dog come back in. Pop, I have a health question. I have an actual torso doll, as I said. I have fun with it, but if I do too many things in one day and my fun times, my chest feels like it's pressed from both sides and I feel like coughing. The doctors do not believe me of me telling them having problems. I was born premature of 6 months. I know preemies have problems and stuff. Just to be sure, I'm asking you, and sleeping with me doll make me heart feel beat faster, and I have trouble falling asleep. Any tips?
Get a check for what is it? What's it? What's that? You have a restriction in your airway. COPD. My mother has it.
Okay.
And she's always complaining about it. She feels like somebody's compressing her chest all the time. So you get checked for COPD. Check if your lung volume is sufficient. Get a blood ox. You can at CVS. You can get one of those little things that goes on your finger. It's like $20-$40 or something like that. You put it on there. It tells you what your blood ox is. And wear it standing up, sitting down, laying down after you do PT, and chart your blood oxygen in your blood. There's something going on in there. You got a restriction or something going on with your lungs, in my opinion.
Yep. See, jumping over to the Rumble chat back here. Alucard coming back in again with $5. I'd rather in the company of a dog man than stupid people.
That's fair.
I don't know. Dogmen, from what I hear, it's not good. Stupid people, you could just ignore them or tell them to fuck off, and you'd be fine.
Okay.
It's a little harder to tell Dogman to fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Jumping back to MGTOW here, we got Mile High Ronin, $10 says, the best damn chat on the internet. Salute and cheers. Pop is also a poet.
Yes.
Not really.
You didn't even know it.
There you go.
Mad Dog come back here. Pop, I think we have hope. If you look at how Rome fell and segregated into other states, America will secede if Trump loses and a whole lot of whites will flee Western countries and to Eastern countries to live there. Ironically, they will become the new small hats, ironic, and become a sizable portion of the country. Some countries will unalive them, like most colonial countries, but one day all smart people will go and live on one country and create a prosperous place with extreme gatekeeping far into the future.
It was already done once. It was called Atlantis, and it's been destroyed.
Sorry. There's that.
Next one.
All right, let's see. Never Again here with $5. Talking with MGTOW Ronan, he says, you must be, as I suspected all along, the blue-eyed blonde biatch pimp. Well, fuck it. Here is the $5 tip at Pop and Crew in chat.
Thank you.
Not including your pimp ass.
All right.
Oh, got someone's keeping the pimp hand strong in the chat. I like it.
All right. Are we on MGTOW chat right now?
Yep, we got one more here on MGTOW from Mountain Man 9395. Dr. Michael Wiener, aka Michael Savage, could not get into UC Berkeley as a professor in botany, and he had a PhD and 2 masters in that field from that school. So he was so enraged because of the DEI hiring, because of affirmative action policies by the state of California, that he went into broadcasting and had a successful national radio program for over 20 years as a firebrand conservative.
Good. And listen, man, sometimes you fuck with the wrong person, you light a fire under their ass, and you create a fucking monster. So be careful who you fuck with, because you just might stand up a fucking monster.
There you go. All right, we'll jump over here to Odyssey. We just got a handful over here. We'll burn through these here. Good. I can tell just by the screen image of who this is. Hi, Jackal. But he's going by Sore Hippity Pudge Butt this week.
Sore Hippity Pudge Butt.
He says,
then.
"What you doing, you click clappers? The perpetuation of this belief that one must have qualifications determined by people that have no experience in the respective field that you want to work in will only see the death of the economy in the nation. A paper shouldn't get your job. Provable skills should."
Correct.
Yep. And he follows it up again with sent a sample of technological what the fuckness to the gay mail.
All right.
I'll be sure to curate those. Let's see. Calebon. I like his statement here. Vlad had the best punishment.
Yes, he did. Pull up the ass until it came out your mouth.
You'd also nail your turban to your head.
Yeah, he only did that a few times.
Yeah.
Well, that's. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to mention it. But agent of social media chaos here coming in. There was an interesting horror movie about the Michigan Dogman that I found in multi-horror movie DVD set called
Dogman. Okay.
Nice. There you go. And speaking of Odyssey, we got 28 watching over there. D Live, we're going to jump over here. Let's see. No new lemons here tonight, but we got 5 viewers there.
All right.
And let's see. Which is rocking 1413.
All right. And we got to start streaming it to Twitter.
Okay.
Because I paid for the blue check mark. I've been, basically doing 15 to 20 tweets a day, trying to build up the viewers.
Okay.
On there.
Yep. Getting verified. And if you get enough followers, we can get monetized over on Twitter.
Yeah.
There you go.
If you don't mind surrendering more of your information.
We don't care, dude. The FBI has every file on me.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
Yeah. There you go. All right. We'll jump up here to
the Rumble, man.
We got one more over on Rumble.
I will read this one out because I have the answer to his question. Mega Blister 22 gives us $10 and says, "Pop, any experience with Baofeng radios? Looking for decent, inexpensive inter-unit comms for my local group." Yes, the Baofengs are just fine. We've got some, and they're easy to program. They're pretty easy to use. They've been fairly reliable so far. I play tested a couple really hard for about 2 months.
Yeah, he's my commo man.
I'm the commo guy.
Yeah.
I play tested a couple for one really hard for a couple of months, and it held up really well. Get the extended battery. and get yourself the tactical antenna as well as the little one that comes with it. It's worth the time. They've got a range of about 30 miles in line of sight territory
There you
with
go.
the tactical antenna.
There you go. And I do need to make a correction. We got 46 over on MGTOW. I was
All
looking
right,
at the
cool.
view there. Of course, we all know everybody's over there for the ta, and pa. If you
Okay.
don't know what I'm talking about, that's the tatas, the papa, the asa, and pusa.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. All right, jumping over to the emails here to check our cash apps. We got quite a few here. We got Florentine Marmuzez sent in $1, says, "Evening, you mothers of the fuck."
That's going in the book.
That's good stuff.
That was good.
Florentine sending in another $1 here, says, "Sending you some love because you guys are different."
That's right. I can't tell how many times I heard that. She loves me.
He loves
She's different with her. Get the fuck out of here, you dumbass.
Mark with $20 over here on Cash App says he's asking, how does Pop deal with ass kissers at work?
I usually tell him to shut the fuck up. Don't kiss my ass. I don't play those games. Do a good job. You'll be treated well.
Yeah.
Do your fucking job. Don't fucking kiss ass. I have no respect for ass kissers.
Well, you know how you can tell the ass kissers from the other people? The ass kisser's breath smells like shit.
I'm not going to say you're wrong.
Just tell them, stop being obsequious, watch the deer in the headlights look, and just walk away.
Hmm?
I've-
That's a lot of syllables there, so
Right there. Pop.
I was literally looking at my camera and like, that's, yeah.
I have no idea what that word is. Literally, like,
Let's see. And Henry, holy smoking Joe Frazier says it's been a while since I've paid my dues. Cheers. He sent in $200.
Wow.
Good.
man. Holy crap.
Thank you so much there, Henry. You are the man, and you are the first and only not worthy of the night.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Seriously, bro. Really cool.
Thank you so much, man.
Hell yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for all the donations, for all the chats, for everybody coming in and hanging out here tonight. Let me just do one more quick recap. We got 13 over on Twitch. We got 5 on DLive. 28 on Odyssey. Yep. Do we have another one over?
No.
Oh, no. I just scrolled up on Odyssey there. Let's see. MGTOW.tv. Still doing MGTOW things. That is a perfectly
MGTOW
pumped.
TV will do
platoon.
MGTOW things.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Yes.
the things. They're
Yeah.
pretty good.
Oh, good.
Got 43 over there. Let me make sure no other new chats over there. We got 699 on Rumble
All
and
right.
400. It changed. 377 on YouTube.
That's actually, once you do super chats, people, like,
Yeah, that's pretty
it's,
normal.
it's cool.
Yeah,
It tapers
that's
off. That's
normal.
okay.
Yeah, it's normal. But I believe that is all of the super chats for tonight. So thank everybody for donating and sticking around, hanging out with us for tonight. But I think ready, Pop.
All right.
Is it-
Don't drink and drive. Don't drink and swim. It's not going to work out for you. If you absolutely must fornicate, wear a condom. When you're done, take it with you or flush it down the toilet and watch it go all the way down. If you must engage in any type of hand-to-hand combat, run away first. If you can't, don't go to the ground because that is where you get stomped out. Rack up, pack up, and stack up their safety in numbers and maintain your situational awareness. Because if you're going to be attacked, something in your environment will have changed, and it's up to you to find it. That is all.
There you go. All righty, Battledorf, any words from you?
We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Mega Blister 22 couldn't let one We're Not Worthy slide and has dropped 100 on us.
Thank you.
Holy smoking Joe Fraser.
Says,
Yes, he
thanks
did.
for the info. We have a budget for 6 Baofangs. Do they have a repeater set up for these? The Baofangs will run off of ham repeaters. So, yes, you can use a repeater for them. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hit him, Jimmy.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you.
Oh, and my message for the end of the night is don't be obsequious.
Where's the dot matrix printer button? Yeah, there you go, gentlemen. My final words for the night, pretty simple. Be sure to focus on what you want to do in life so that you know how to get a job in life. Because if you don't, well, you may be on one website that you'll be washing cootie juices off your dishes. No one wants that.
No.
Take it easy, everybody.
All right.
I can't do it!